The truth is, the FE exam is not as hard as you think. Many people will point to the low pass rate, which, yes, not everyone passes, and people fail all the time, but they're not exactly failing because the test is difficult, at least not for someone who got their engineering degree or is on their way to doing so. They're failing because they're studying the wrong way. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm a licensed professional engineer, and I passed my FE and PE exams on the first try, and I helped other engineers pass their exam in 90 days or less. The thing is this, the FE exam is predictable, but many people approach it incorrectly. A lot of people think the FE exam is hard because there's a lot of topics, and I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of topics on the exam. The FE exam covers a wide range of subjects, and a lot of people feel that they need to now know everything. Here's the reality, you don't need to know every topic, and some you can outright disregard, but I'll get to that later. People feel the exam is too difficult because they have low confidence across too many topics. They feel weak in multiple areas. They go on to overstudy everything, so they don't have a real strength anywhere when it comes to the exam. Couple that with poor practice experience where they do problems slowly and often with the help of others, and this creates the illusion that the test is too difficult or too daunting, when reality is their skills are just undertrained. A lot of people go into taking the FE exam with no clear strategy at all for studying. The plan is essentially chaos or random studying. And what exactly is the outcome? Inconsistent results and stress that becomes perceived difficulty. So what is actually the FE civil exam? The FE is a pattern recognition plus execution exam. That's all it is. Simplify it to that and the approach becomes clear. And here's what makes it easier than you think. The equations are already provided. The problem types are repetitive, and it's mostly plug and chug with equations. Not a lot of deep theory is actually required. Now here's the things that do make it challenging. The time pressure, having to switch between topics, and having a lack of a system to prepare and approach every single problem. So here's where people go wrong when studying for the FE exam. Number one, they try to learn everything at once to perfect depth, and it's impossible within a study time frame to learn every subject to its final conclusion, and this leads to a lot of overwhelm. The second mistake is not practicing like the exam. There's no timing on the problems, unlimited attempts, looking at solutions before attempting them, and no actual pressure. I'm not saying you need to do every problem with the utmost pressure and simulating the test conditions, but if you don't allow your brain to get used to having a bit of pressure and a clock in the back of your mind, you're not going to be prepared come test day. The third mistake is having no repeatable method when it comes to problems. It's just whatever you decide in that moment, when really you need a repeatable process for approaching every single problem. Where to look in the FE handbook, how to approach unit conversions, what are your checks for your units, what are your checks for your numbers, and how to go about actually taking an educated guess on the test. You need a system for all of these things. So what exactly makes the test easy, and how can we take advantage of that to make our preparation even easier? One, we need to focus on high yield topics. Do not cover everything equally. Prioritize frequent topics, the ones with the most problems. Shift your brain to training with pattern recognition. See enough problems and your patterns will start to emerge. Your brain will immediately understand where to look in the FE handbook, maybe even what part of the page on the FE handbook, and how to go about solving that problem. And that can't be accomplished without volume and a system. Use a system for answering your problems. I have a 5-step system, which you can find for free in the description down below, that gives you a systematic approach to approaching every single problem on the exam. At first, you'll have to keep track of that system, but then you'll do it by habit, and now you have a framework to approach every problem, easy or difficult, whether you know the topic or not. And now shift to practicing under a time constraint. Make it 3-4 minutes. Maybe early in the study session, you can push it to 5 or 6 minutes, but you need to get used to solving problems very, very quickly. This will help you build speed and confidence when you're doing your practice questions. The FE can certainly feel like a difficult test when your studying becomes unstructured, but it becomes manageable when you train correctly for the exam. Think about trying to learn a system instead of guessing every time. Don't approach each problem as a fresh new challenge, but just another cog in the machine on your way to answering and finishing your exam. If you want a structured way to make your studying for this exam manageable, I have a 90-day study schedule system that you can find in the description down below. It's 100% free, check it out. If you want to work with me directly to set up a custom plan for you based on your life and your struggles with the FE exam, you should contact me down below as well. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.